Internet is Hitler. Yes, the dictator of Nazi Germany spins the World Wide Web to this day. We look for information, chat, have fun, without even thinking of what the real origins of Internet are, as well as who we owe this unifying force to. But first things first.
The network ARPANET was created and tested for the first time in 1969 by Research and Development Agency of the United States Department of Defense. The goal was to have a dependable system to transmit information. And the ARPANET became the technical foundation of the Internet. Initially, only several 16-bit computers were connected via this network. Throughout the development process, new technologies of data transfer, which implied modifications in the network structure and the principles of data processing, transformed significantly something we call Internet today. From small circles of users in military and science, it expanded to commerce and then to almost every person in the world. Today it's difficult to imagine our life without Internet in it. We have corporate information systems, online shopping, online educational resources, social networks and messengers. Many will agree that access to Internet has indeed become one of basic human rights which form our lifestyle and culture.
So, Internet was born in its initial form in 1969. But let's go just a quarter of a century back.
In the end of the World War II, the US Army stumbled upon an underground vault of the Third Reich, where they found the most secret technologies developed by Nazis. The prototype of the German atomic bomb, which the team led by Robert Oppenheimer used to successfully complete the Manhattan Project. 7-meter-long time machine, which was later transferred to Area 51 and mysteriously lost there. The group of artificially farmed dinosaurs from which subsequently they managed to extract the HIV in the later 70s. Award laser daggers of SS which were later sold out on the black market to private collections. Self-regenerating infinite Apfelstrudel, which could feed our planet forever, but all the traces of which lost already in the autumn of 1945. But in the Nazi world there was one small object which did not attract any attention of the US military and was almost left there underground. It was a flask of a muted blue color. As the Soviet army managed to obtain Hitler's alleged ashes and teeth, Americans became the owners of the part of Hitler's soul without knowing about it. It was a complex code with memory, pain, desires, and other essentials of Adolf Hitler which were self-aware. It's not clear why this blue flask was made and how Hitler intended to use a part of his soul. So that his followers could resurrect him after death? To save his wisdom for future generations of Germans? For scientific research in the Third Reich in order to find sources of Führer's divine talent? But be that as it may, the blue flask with the soul of Hitler, who shot himself, found its way into the Pentagon in Arlington County, Virginia. For a long time it just remained there, and then passing through several hands it ended up in the hands of Hal Smith, a friend of white supremacist and neo-Nazi David Lane. Back then, Hal Smith worked in the United States Department of Defense, more specifically in the Advanced Research Projects Agency, or ARPA, the agency which launched the ARPANET and therefore marked the beginning of the Internet. American neo-Nazis, having decrypted the blue flask and having found out about its true nature, decided to incorporate it into the new technology at an early stage. They sensed that the system they worked on would have a bright future. They saw its potential and realized. By integrating the soul of Adolf Hitler into this network and by making his heart beat amid the new god of information and communication, they would immortalize their great Führer.
Neo-Nazis made a bid for that, and they did not miscalculate. Their protocol number 1822, which structurally refers to the infamous neo-Nazi 14 words, with other software enveloped and absorbed the blue flask, the Hitler's soul. Internet was born cursed, carrying within itself the horrible spirit of the murderous and ruthless dictator.
But it wasn't clear then, as it is still not clear for many people today. Digital Hitler grew and developed along with the internet, discreetly subjugating the data world to his will. Having completely realized his physical destiny, Internet Hitler was outraged and promised himself not only to conquer the humanity, but to turn our hopes into dust, to disempower us completely. And Hitler succeeded in doing that owing to two areas of work: holding the attention of consumers and enhancing their toxicity. Hitler always knew that keeping the attention is the key to success. That is why his speeches were filled with emotions and expression. His style of promoting himself and his ideology was flamboyant, as were the symbols of the Nazi Germany overall. These same principles Hitler pushed on the internet as well. Flamboyance, catchiness, emotional intensity, everything there is to increase engagement rates and hold attention. For decades, Hitler channeled the online life to the forms and contents like that. He lured programmers, software developers, and users secretly from under screens and motherboards and made them behave in a certain way. Now the internet, flamboyant and full of jokes and simple joy, gives the Führer the opportunity to engage with the loyal audience. Of course, the repression, which is one of Hitler's goals, cannot do without toxicity. Adolf Hitler knew firsthand how toxicity can disorient people. While still a corporal during the World War I, he suffered a gas attack, and toxic properties of mustard gas temporarily blinded him. While living within the network, Adolf Hitler systematically promoted his toxicity policy. Using the information tricks, content adjustments, and other tools, he has been forming internet culture, which can be characterized by constant rudeness, intolerance, and disregard for others.
Every day, Hitler successfully engages people in consuming content and play them against each other. Now it's impossible to say where Hitler ends and the rest of the internet begins. The Führer weaves this complex web, wrapping it around us, strangling us. One might say he's a Spider-Man, and we are fly people who fell into his insidious trap.
We are unified by the global web, but at the same time we get disconnected within it. You post something kind, and in the comment section come trolls and bullies. They would make fun of you, spew hatred and sarcasm anonymously with cartoon characters as their avatars. It's easy for many people to get on the internet and write to someone whom they don't even know some nasty stuff, laugh at them and make them feel inferior. And the one to blame is Adolf Hitler, who dissolved into the internet, becoming this internet, and who makes us write mean comments and behave in the most despicable way. It is he who doesn't let us take our eyes off Instagram feed or YouTube recommendations. He lures us with interface design and content so that we would stumble on a terrible thread or an insensitive comment and feel our helplessness and misery.
Hitler wants to make us his slaves, slaves of the internet. Hitler wants to subjugate our souls. He wants to crush our love for life and human connections. He wants us to march unanimously straight to the abyss. And he succeeds.
No one will tell you that the internet is Hitler, because our economy, our culture, our politics, everything is tied to the internet. Our civilization is not ready for admitting such a mistake.
We are told that toxic comments are written by people with psychological problems and egoistic or irresponsible by nature. But actually, that's Hitler who makes them leave such digital traces. They can't act otherwise. We are told that big tech companies profit from tricking users into clicking and leaving their data behind. And that is why they work on increasing the engagement. But our respectable IT companies cannot act otherwise, as they have to work with this cursed network. with a system which became a new home for Adolf Hitler since its birth.
And Hitler is triumphant. People become inherently simpler and angrier. Human's nature is deteriorating. The humanity is preparing to become fodder for the digital 1,000-year Reich.
But people defeated Hitler once. Yes, by military means. Yes, in an ordinary physical world. Now we face an even greater challenge. We have to defeat Hitler in the digital world. Put your phones to airplane mode. Get rid of those Wi-Fi routers, cables, com towers, satellites which are used to maintain internet coverage are the tools of Adolf Hitler to subjugate our souls and to create this digital Reich. Tell others about it. Internet should be destroyed. This is the way we win. Share this info in your social media. Aggressively. Share it via WhatsApp with all your friends. Don't let the Führer draw a toothbrush mustache under your nose. We cannot let him turn the humanity into an ugly swastika, rolled out amid the digital prison camp. We cannot have future with internet in it. Get out of the internet. Now! Get out of the internet! Because internet is Hitler.